Hi, I'm Richard from Frozen Well. Welcome back. This last week I've been taking part in a game dev challenge along with 4 other YouTubers. The idea was that we would all create a level for a game using the same player character. The only information we knew was that the basic backstory for the game was that you needed to collect the parts to your spaceship to allow you to escape the planet you were on, and that each level would have 3 parts to collect. You got told how the previous dev wanted to end their level, so there was at least some continuity in the levels. The game devs taking part in the challenge were myself, Xanderwood, BLANKdev, Whateep and Marlin. Links to their videos and channels are in the description. At the start of the challenge, Xanderwood provided us with the player sprites that we were all to use in the game. These had been sourced through someone on Fiverr. Here you see the sprites I had to work with. I decided to make a game in the style of the 80s classics Commando and Ikari Warriors. The aim would be to fight through enemies to get to the end of the level. Along the way you would collect the 3 parts of your ship that you needed. The exact mechanic of collecting the ship parts still had to be decided at this point. The first thing was to get the player sprite imported into Godot. I don't need them all, so I just imported enough to create left, right, up, down movements and some for an idle animation. Next, I got to work on a character controller, and here you can see the result. The player can run about and the correct animations play, and when they stop the idle animation kicks in. I decided that I wanted the player to have a laser. Here you can see this in action. I've created this using a raycast, and then it creates a line 2D between the player and the raycast hit point. I then tween the starting point of the laser to the end point to make it look like it's been fired. So, it's Wednesday evening, 3 days into the challenge, and I've not made anywhere near the progress I was hoping to. First of all, this evening I worked on a tile set for the levels, and here you can see the current progress in this. I've also been working on an enemy for the player to face. Here I've created some animations and I exported a sprite sheet of these animations ready for use in Godot. Here you can now see the first enemy and the tile map in the game, ready to start adding some more functionality. It's late now, so that will have to wait for tomorrow. I've made some good progress this evening. First of all, I worked on getting the enemies to move. Decided that I wanted the enemies in the game to follow a certain path to attack the player. On reading the Godot documentation, I discovered a couple of really useful nodes that make this process really easy to implement. These are the Path 2D and Follow Path 2D nodes. Here you see the enemy and the line coming out from it is the path that the enemy will follow. This provides a great visual way to create the attack patterns of the enemies. You can loop the path, or as I'm doing, when the enemy reaches the end of its path it gets destroyed. Here you see it in action. In the code I've added functionality that means that it only starts moving when the player gets close to it. Next, the enemy needed to fire bullets, so I set up a simple bullet that just keeps moving in a certain direction, and I got the enemy to start firing these in the player's direction whenever you get close to the enemy. Here you see it in action. These bullets currently don't have any effect, they don't hit anything, so that'll be one of the next things that I have to work on. Finally this evening I did a bit more work on the tile sheet and added some ground and also made the cliff edges a bit higher. This can all be seen here. Okay, so we're now on Saturday afternoon and I've made some quite good progress, so here's a catch up of what I've been up to. First up is the player laser. The laser was originally used in a raycast and drawing a line from the player to the hit point. I realised when testing though that sometimes visually it looked like you'd hit the enemy, but the raycast only registers the hit at the end of the line, so I was missing it. I've therefore changed to use a sprite with a collider now. This is working a lot better. As you can see from the video, I've also added a little effect when the laser hits something. Also added to the game now are some enemy gun bunkers, as can be seen here. These are going to be placed at various parts of the level where there are things to be protected. Like you see here where they're protecting a bridge that goes over a lava river. They still need a bit of work as they aren't firing in the player's direction properly. The other thing that I've been working on is the player's health bar and the score display on the UI. When the player gets hit, they lose a unit of health and the display updates to show this. The score gets updated as well when the player kills any enemies. It's Sunday evening and it's been a grind to get this game finished. It's not as polished as I would like, and to be honest, if I wasn't doing this as a collaboration with other developers, I would more than likely have given up on it altogether. But here is the final level that I created. Whilst I may not be happy with the game, the whole collaboration has been really enjoyable, and I urge you to check out the other devs' levels, the links are in the description. Making this game has been another great step in my learning of the Godot game engine. I feel that I'm starting to feel more comfortable using it and really enjoying it as well.